Welcome to Karaoke Wine with Jules and Tessa.
Welcome. Karaoke Wine.
Yes.
Before we get started, obviously, cheers. I missed that one. Oh, that just went in my eyeball. Oh my God. Woo. So we have a very interesting topic today that I stumbled across.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that we do a disclaimer on what we're going to be speaking about today is the rape website that over 62 million people visited in the month of February. Fun fact, in case you didn't know this, February is the shortest month out of the year. So very interesting that this stat came from a 28-day month and not a 29-day, 30 or 31st situation.
I did not know that.
You didn't know that February only had 28 days?
No, I knew that.
Okay.
I didn't know that statistic.
Yeah.
The disclaimer is that we're going to be talking about sexual assault.
Yes.
It's very traumatic if you have been through it.
Yeah.
We're going to be discussing very personal stories and also statistics. So just be prepared.
And we will also, as always, have resources in the clips that we do on Instagram. We'll also have resources on the YouTube when we release the full episode because we're girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would like to kick it off and say I am extremely single and I love that I'm single. However, there is this aspect of obviously wanting a partner. And after seeing something like this, it really makes you wonder. And a lot of people are comparing this to the now does everyone understand why women choose the bear? Because if you don't remember that statistic, do you have that on there?
I have that in my notes.
It just made me realize how well do you know people? And the most shocking aspect of this entire website is they're married.
Yeah. So CNN broke a story. They were investigating the Rape Academy, which is a chat group.
Yeah.
And it was married people on this chat exchanging notes on how to drug their spouse in order to have sexual relations with them, violate them essentially. And they were posting videos and photos within this group.
Yeah.
A lot to unpack here.
So much. And the context, and we have obviously some items to review with you guys today that we've seen. It's just the overwhelming amount of interaction on this website compared to banking websites, compared to technology websites, at Amazon that people are going to. It put it into perspective of how many people were actually visiting this website. I think that they had Bank of America or Wells Fargo on one of the comparisons, and it was less people that visited a banking website.
And this site is international. It's not just a U.S. thing. It was like people from Poland and all over the UK, the U.S. So where do I begin? I think so our last episode, we talked about the manosphere.
Whew. Yes.
And a lot of those undertones were hating females.
Yeah.
And I just said, how many of those people grow up to hate females, then turn into people that do this?
Yeah. And it's also one of those things that this is grooming at its finest, obviously, when we're talking about the manosphere. I think what's shocking to me about this particular website is the extremes that these men go to provide the structure and the details and how-tos in order to get their significant other passed out enough that they're still moving, but they do, what did they, the eye check?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Also, why? That's like necrophilia in my mind. It's just a warm, dead body. Why would that be fun?
I think also it comes into question, like, what is consent? And I think, and the psychology of these men thinking that it's okay to just, oh, you're my wife, so I can do whatever I want to you. And we're from the generation of SVU.
Yeah.
And growing up with knowing what consent.
SVU.
But just knowing what consent is, and no is a complete sentence,
yes,
guys.
100%. Even a yeah, whatever is a no. Unless it's a fuck yes, it's a no.
Like, and you can change your mind anytime. If you're midway and be like, oh my God, I don't want to do this anymore. That is a no, and you need to stop.
Yes, 100%.
And so I think that it was really not fascinating because it was hard to watch and it was hard to hear these statistics, but in the U.S., between 10 to 14% of married women are raped by their partners, and in 17 states, a spouse can't be convicted of raping an incapacitated partner. 50% of males in college believe a man is incapable of raping his wife. I get chills just thinking about this, and 34% of the students say they would rape a woman if there was no consequence. It's like The Purge, but in a way dirtier, sick way. It's if you could murder someone, would you?
Yeah. And I love how, and this is just, they say women are crazy.
No, this is just diabolical.
It's disgusting.
And I don't know how men wake up every morning. And these are normal men. These are like postal service members, construction work. These are not like the elite 1% that we see in the Epstein files. These are just normal people that you and I see on the street, the fucking milkman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they are doing this to the people that they love, or quote unquote love, and vow to protect every single day. And that's what gets me. It's these women think that they are at home in bed, safe and sound, but the real predator is literally lying in bed next to them.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's not that big of a degree of separation. You have to think about how many friends you have in your life who've experienced some sort of sexual assault, right? Mm-hmm. I have many friends.
Out of us two, raise your hand if you've been sexually assaulted.
Yeah. Probably, but okay, I'm not going to make that joke because we're on a serious topic.
Of course you would.
Yeah. I was like, I might have been doing this sexually assaulting.
Even getting into this topic, all of our girlfriends have been picking up and posting about this on Instagram. And I said, oh, we're talking about this on the pod today.
Yeah.
And out of all of that, one of my girlfriends opened up about her assault. As a woman, the probability that there's a group of 5 girls at dinner and 3 of them have been in the situation. And it's a club that unfortunately I am a part of, and you don't want to be a part of it.
I also think about one time, and it was on my 21st birthday, and I had way too much to drink. And it's something that I think about all the time. And I ended up staying the night at a house, but it was my older sister's, one of her friends, and he kept trying to have sex with me, and I was like, no. And then finally I just let it happen. And I think about that sometimes because I was so young. I was very inexperienced with men at the time. I think maybe I had slept with 1 or 2 people at this point in my life, and one of them was a guy that I was like in love with from high school. And I think about that a lot because I never felt any way about it the next day. But in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, in my 37-year-old body, I would have fucking knocked him out.
Yeah.
I would have not let that happen. Like, I was 3 sheets. It's like, this is in the same topic of like, why? And I think that's part of the topic, right? Women think that it's okay. And now that I'm like saying this out loud, it makes me realize it wasn't okay. Yeah.
And it's okay to come to that realization. I think with the guys now and this statistic of it's incapable of raping your wife, where does that come from? Who is teaching you these things? Are they not teaching consent in middle school, high school? I think with our generation, we were just in the know. And I'm like, where did the generations go wrong? Where it's now we're like moving backwards.
Yeah. And I wonder if it's because we were the generation that said no.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know the age. We have age statistics. She's a statistics girl.
Yeah. No, I don't have ages. The only one that came into play was the college
kids. Okay, yeah, perfect.
The college kids.
I think it's because I would be curious to know, because you think back.
We're also like the Me Too movement.
We are the Me Too movement. But think about how much these people would get away with, and whether women were sexually assaulted or chose to do sexual acts, get ahead of in their career. They're both essentially assault in some way because it's quid pro quo. It's just interesting to me that this statistic, on top of what is being released in the Epstein files, has happened this year, and people are more focused on the Alex Cooper, Alex Earl debacle. Have you seen that? They're like, drama, but it's like, that's what's taking priority right now across platforms.
Yes, true. I don't know a lot about that feud. I also don't care about it. So I just don't pay attention. But I think that the Epstein files were so big for so many years. And then it's like you realize that the world is actually a disgusting place and there are monsters living amongst us. And then this comes out. By the way, and I know you wanted to do this topic for a long time because of the Dominic Pellicote's case. And like you wanted to talk about it. And now it's like, this is like the prime example. But this has been going on
forever.
For a long time. This is just not a new thing that's, oh my God, guys, look at what we stumbled upon. There's even more shit out there. No, this has been a thing forever. And it's just now coming to the surface of, oh no, it's more mainstream than we thought. That case was not a one-off.
No, it wasn't. And then also think about that movie that Channing Tatum was in. Channing Tatum.
Blink Twice.
Yes. Blink Twice. Yeah. Zoe Kravitz, her movie. It has so many similarities, not only to the Epstein files, obviously, but it also has similarities to what's happening here. And when we're talking about degrees of separation, and I think did you finish your story about what happened with the aftermath of the assault and what happened?
What aftermath?
About your friend.
Oh, no, we didn't even get into that yet.
Okay, perfect. So when we're sitting here and looking at mainstream media, it's throwing drama and salacious things in your face, but it's deterring you from focusing on the actual things that are happening in this world. And I think even if you have the statistic, when they did, this is a national, obviously, or international website that people are visiting all over. The majority of the people, though, came from the United States. Wasn't that part of the statistic?
I would have to look it up, but at the same time, I'd be like, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
I think there is lack of respect and lack of morality that has happened since we've been older, and really post 9/11, because I think people, especially our age, that grew up in an environment that we've been through so many wars, we've been through so much violence and turmoil that it's almost normal to us. So the more extreme that it is, it's the more desensitized we are from it, because we're like, what's new? Like, I could have put money that was going to happen. It's insane on what we've been able to digest as humanity these days in quote unquote entertainment, and be okay walking out of theaters, be okay walking out of
Yeah.
binge watching. I just binge watched The Handmaid's Tale too. Watched the entire series.
Really?
I did. And
I stopped watching it like season 4.
yeah, it's actually really good. And the first season is very much about women's rights, taking away women's rights and making them do what you want them to do, which is very in alignment with this
It's like
website.
you're my concubine and I'm going to do what I please.
They refer to the women as vessels, right? That's pretty much what they do. And it's rape. It's 100% rape. And there's this moment in the show, I'm getting somewhere with this because it's not just men. There's a moment in the show where the lead character is speaking to a little girl. The little girl asks her, like, what do I get to be when I grow up, before she rescues her out of Gilead? And she says, you can do whatever you want. You can be a painter. You can be an actress, whatever. And the little girl goes, what if I still want like a husband and kids? Yeah, you can do that too. And I think that we shifted so specifically on women's rights were so hard about just leave me alone, let me do what I want, that even women started judging people who wanted that traditional life, which has caused a disconnect in women supporting women. Because it's not about what life path you choose. It's about having the option to do whatever you want. But does that make sense? Like, women who want to have the traditional family and kids are almost looked down upon. Oh, that's all you want?
Yeah, but
why not?
And to go even like more conspiracy, is like these trad wives they come across on Instagram as, I'm here to just obey my husband.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're feeding the fucking narrative that this would be obeying. Like, technically, if you want to put it out there, I think it's all about respect. First of all, no, as soon as I have a drink and no is no, whatever.
Does he have to have a drink?
Like, sober or not sober. It's just respect. And these men clearly have no respect
for themselves
for themselves, for their wives. And the craziest thing is, like, you just think that you're safe with someone. And I'm just like, the statistic of, in the US, 70 to 80% of rapes are committed by someone we know.
Yeah.
Out of 1,000 assaults, 310 are reported, 50 lead to arrest, and 28 lead to conviction.
Yeah. You look at even the statistic that Harvard, I think he was a swimmer that raped that girl behind the dumpster.
Oh, I don't even know that story.
Okay. So I can't even remember his name, but there was so much evidence.
Yeah.
There was so much evidence. There was witnesses. There was proof. Like, I think maybe even media proof. But she literally was so drunk walking home from a frat party. He pulled her behind a dumpster.
Oh, my God.
And one of the details that I read in the article, and I can't forget because I read her victim impact statement, or is it survivor impact statement, I think they're called. And she was like, I had pine tree needles embedded in my head and in my skin and inside of me, because that's how violent the attack was. But you're sitting here saying that was consensual. And he just got taken out of school and taken off the swim team. I have to think of his name. We'll put it down here. It was just one of those moments where it's, even when you have all of the evidence in the world, it's still,
it's hard to prosecute and convict.
It's just, and unfortunately, with types of lawyers and what that looks like and how powerful your family can be, people get away with it all the time. And the movie Promising Young Woman, did you ever see that? It's one of the soundtrack is Chef's Kiss, but it's The Nice Guys. And they did such a great job casting that movie with all of America's sweethearts.
Yes.
All of the nerdy guys that we fell in love with growing up. What's his name from Superbad was on there. What? McLovin. McLovin was one of the guys who they made him out to be a sexual predator. And I think it was such a shock to the system for people who are watching it, who grew up loving it. And Seth was on there too from, what's his last name?
Not Seth Rogen.
Cohen.
Seth.
Cohen?
No, that's not, no.
Rabbi Cohen. I know him as Rabbi Cohen now. I can't remember, but he was one of the main guys.
Oh, from the OC and Nobody Wants This.
Yes. He was one of the main men in there too. And the point is that movie was almost like hidden after it was released. Like it was.
Yeah, it wasn't very popular. I think I watched it when it came out and I just found it. And I was like, oh, this looks so good.
It was.
I think because she was just killing off all the men. I was like,
she wasn't killing them. All she was doing was acting wasted, but being sober.
Yeah, she lured them in that way and then killed them.
No, she only killed one of them. It was by accident because he tried to kill her. Yeah,
I gotta rewatch.
The whole point was she wanted to scare the shit out of them. Yeah, and the meaning behind it is her best friend ended up killing herself because she was sexually assaulted in college by 3 men, and they recorded it. Yeah. And then they reported it to the school, and the school basically said, we can't ruin these young men's lives. Now, does this happen? Maybe not to this extreme anymore, but it has happened. And there wouldn't be so many narratives surrounding this if it wasn't so prevalent in society.
I think when people go, we can't ruin their lives, I think that's minimalizing the trauma that goes into the female's life. And I can speak to this. My assault was not rape. I am one of the lucky ones. Yeah. But that being said, I had a trauma course, and I've spoken to it about it in the past, but I'm still working out my trauma shit. It does not go away. No. You don't wake up and you're like, I'm over it. Like, I can talk about it without losing my shit. Yeah. But it's like in your cells. It is embedded in you. And at 12 years old when this happened to me, I immediately found out that men are not safe. Yeah. And we talk about this all the time about going out, and that night that we were at a Miami restaurant and the guy was being really aggressive to our girlfriend. And then he was aggressive to me. Had I not been 1 with my girlfriend and 2 aggressive back and 3 in public, God only knows what he would have done. Yeah. I think, and that's why we always have the buddy system. Yeah. That's why when girls walk to their car alone, we have the keys in the middle of our fingers. We have to dress conservatively, have a friend with us at all times, watch our drinks when we're out in public. There are all these things that we need to do to not be attacked, and guys have to do nothing. Yeah.
There is an interesting article put out by a commander in the military, and his daughter was take daughter to work day, and he was talking to her about all of the protections that she had to do. Maybe I could be confusing stories right now too. However, the point of the story is he's telling her how to protect herself from all these guys. And the daughter stops the dad and goes, okay, I get why you're telling me this, but why is no one teaching them not to do it instead? Yeah. Like, why do we have to be the ones to be on the defense when we shouldn't even have an offense to go against? It was just so interesting to me that we spend so much time. I'm one of 3 girls, and my mom was a freaking psychopath about us being isolated or alone. And unfortunately, in my family, sexual assaults, now that I'm like thinking about this, like it's been around me my whole life now that I'm actually like sitting here and thinking about it. I personally, outside of the one situation I just mentioned earlier, don't really have any other types of the no factor turning into something. I do, however, have a lot of experience with controlling men, manipulative men. I was 18 years old and somebody who was 40, I was dating them. And not that can't be consensual and loving and what it is. I just think about where I was at that time. I was just so emotionally vulnerable. And when you are at a certain age and you're going after somebody who's genuinely just graduated high school, and this was a pattern of his, by the way, like, what does that say about you? Because 20 years of life experience.
Yeah.
And you're taking the person who just is still a child almost. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
To back up a little bit about minimalizing the women's trauma, my girlfriend, her house was broken into a few years ago. And the guy was not someone that she knew, but broke into her house and assaulted her. Yep. I don't think it was rape. I don't have all the full details of it. But he did this to multiple houses, but she was the only one that had physical harm done to her. And he got 15 to 20. He's appealing his sentence. And in his appeal, he said she has no physical harm to her. Like, she didn't have a broken nose. She didn't any of those things. And the mental harm that these men, and I'm not saying men don't get raped, but that's a
completely different topic. Yeah.
The mental harm that the survivors go through on a daily basis that they don't even know that they're doing. It's the subconscious trauma that you have that comes out in different ways it's crazy to me because I know what it feels like. And you go through life, you're like, I love men are safe, but you don't act like you don't act like that sometimes. And it comes out in relationships with your partner. And it's hard to put it even into words. And through therapy, you learn, oh, okay, I did do that. I did sabotage that because of what I went through. And it's all linked. So it's really hard as a woman to be like, no, I do have trauma. Yes, you did harm me. Not in the worst way. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. And we thank God for that it wasn't. Mm-hmm. But don't tell me that I'm not scarred.
Yeah. It's just, it honestly goes back to this overall idea that we need to control women in the narrative that we say publicly. It really is. We are not, it's always going to be in situations like this, his word against hers. And it's proven over and over again that we don't report it because the main narrative that is shown to the public is nothing is done about it, which is not the case actually. And there typically is action taken. There obviously is things that come out in mainstream media or make the news depending on who it is. It's just one of those things where you're seeing all these documentaries on Netflix and even the one with the wrestlers at Ohio State. Mm-hmm. If we want to talk about men, because I watched that, this coach or this doctor took advantage of these wrestlers that were on scholarship.
Yeah.
So the type of psychosis that you go through knowing that you can take advantage of somebody because they're in a position of less power. Yeah. And it went on for years. Just like the gymnastics.
Yeah.
The U.S.
And the higher ups did know about it. It's not like they didn't get a whiff of something strange.
They knew about it. Yeah.
Which is, I think it's even worse. It's like you're getting assaulted twice by your assault person.
Yeah.
And by the people that help cover it up because money is involved or whatever.
Reputation is involved. I mean, really, when it comes to these, because we did talk about colleges earlier, when it comes to these education institutions, right, there is this idea of reputation. And if you have the reputation of this type of assaults happening or this type of terrible situations that are happening repeatedly, and one of the reasons why they scaled back really hard on the Greek system.
Yeah.
And hazing is not allowed. And as far as parties and things are concerned, I feel like there are better regulations, but now it's more about because people have cell phones, people aren't as stupid because everything's recorded. But there's still...
Well, everything is recorded according to this chat.
Which is crazy. And I have...
60 million people going to a website it's crazy that they all have the same fucking dirty fetish. It's the same thing as pedophilia.
Yeah.
It's like they find each other and they gloat and they're like, I'm not weird. I found my people. It's like, no, you're a fucking rapist.
And it's crazy because these are all male driven statistics right now. So again, it's very hard when you're sitting here thinking to yourself, not all men, but I stumbled across this girl and we'll tag her in this, but I want to read. She has 10 slides and it says, not all men. Then explain these numbers. 62 million, right? While you were sleeping, 62 men visited an
62 million men.
Million men, thank you, visited an online academy to learn how to rape their wives. This CNN investigation exposed a global online rape academy teaching men to drug and assault their partners. It's not a secret, it's a crisis. In February alone, so this is where I got the statistic, one website, Motherless.com, had 62 million visits, most from the US. That's not a corner of the internet. That is mainstream atrocity. Over 20,000 videos of unconscious women are hosted there, categorized with tags like hashtag passed out and hashtag iCheck. Some iCheck videos have over 50,000 views. Wow. 50,000 views. This isn't passive viewing on Telegram groups. It is men swap tips on dosages, drugs, and how to evade detection. This is a quote from the investigation. Been wanting to do this to my missus for ages. I can get blank, but honestly, shit scared of overdose.
Yeah, because he's like, oh shit, I'm not as scared of raping her. I'm as scared if she dies and I am murdering her.
Yeah. And one of the survivors, and we can go back to that huge, what's her name, that found the videos of her husband doing this to her with over 70 men. But a survivor told CNN, I can't conceive of the fact that a woman could be treated like slaughterhouse meat. Her husband drugged her tea with their son's sleeping pills. She's not alone. This is the digital version of the Pellicott case that we were just talking about. And he drugged his wife, Giselle, invited over 70 men to rape her, over 200 rapes, and he met them all online. So this is not only something that we're seeing now from this news break of the 62 million on this particular website, but this was a highly publicized case that happened.
Yeah. But it was also groundbreaking.
Yeah.
That he went to jail.
Yeah. All of them did.
All of them. Oh, really? So they found all of the guys, all of the 200?
Yeah.
Wow.
So everyone who they could make out in the video, they all got sentenced in some capacity, I believe. And we'll double check that to make sure we're accurate. Yeah. But when confronted with 62 million visits to a rape academy, the response is always not all men, but it is always men. This is a systemic male problem, not an individual one, which is just so sad. Like, the most dangerous place for a woman is her own bed. The most likely perpetrator is her partner. This academy is weaponizing the trust of millions of women. And what's interesting to me is, are they going to release the information of all of these people? Are they going to release IP addresses? Are they going to take any type of disciplinary action with what they have?
It's funny that you said that, because right after I watched the video, I went into immediately like, how many of these people on this chat have gotten persecuted?
Yeah.
And it was only like one or two that they like could find. Like, it was like Poland or something, and like some in the UK. But like, I can't find anything on that. And I don't know if like they're, now that it's public, this investigation, now we're going to start seeing like FBI going after the ones in the US and persecuting. And they also say, and in the research that I found that it's so hard to persecute when it's drug related because the drugs are out of the system in 12 hours. The women also don't remember. It's like there's a lot of things, a lot of variables in this case that literally have to line up for a perfect persecution. And I think that's why the guys, they know this.
Yeah.
And this is the information that they're feeding each other about how to go along with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many of these men are fathers, are brothers, are
fathers more than likely. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And I remember growing up and always telling my younger brother, like, no is no.
Yeah.
And even when we were in college, I was like, always check an ID. If you're like, if they look young, they are young.
Yes.
Check an ID just to make sure. But no is always no. And I think my brother the other day sent me a meme and I loved it. He was like, men that have sisters make them better people.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you have empathy of what your sister is going through and like how guys act around them. So it's like easier to be like, oh, guys are douchebags.
They're, yeah. I think it also to be on the guy's side too, because I have a lot of young boys in my life or young men in my life. And one of the things that their parents preach to them is do not be alone with a girl.
Yeah.
Just don't. You never know what could happen, especially when you're in that age of sexual exploration. Like it happens all the time on the exact opposite.
There are false accusations.
That's where I was going. Yeah.
I mean, we're not saying that there aren't. They are. Yeah. Being a boy in a situation, like if you feel like you're in a situation, you probably are.
Yeah.
And you just shouldn't put yourself in that situation, boy or girl.
Or girl, yeah.
And I wanted to go back to the bear analogy.
Yeah.
So on Instagram, we saw the same video, I'm assuming. And a woman goes up to all these different guys and says, if your daughter was in a forest alone, what would you be more afraid of? The bear or a guy?
Yeah.
And all of them said the guy, because the bear would probably be just like looking for food and get scared off, but the guy would actually intentionally harm the little girl.
And that was also asked to women as well. Who would you rather be in a forest with?
Bear all day.
Bear all day. Because in my toxic trait is that bear would come and snuggle me. It needs to be so cute. But the point is we are taught how to protect ourselves from men.
Yeah.
Think about that. From a young age, we are taught to protect ourselves from men. And it goes back to, why isn't society doing a better job of teaching these humans that their body, their choice, her body, her choice? Like,
it's up to the moms and dads
but it's like this manosphere thing, right?
My son's gonna grow up to be a decent fucking human.
Obviously, because you're gonna be not the quintessential, oh, I'm a boy mom and I'm gonna coddle him. No, you're gonna be like, bitch, you are going to respect the shit out of me, which would how everyone should parent.
I think that is a boy mom. I think you raise these boys to respect everyone and just be kind. And I think that's really a huge step. It's like we are responsible for our children.
Yeah.
And you can't rely on society. You can't rely on schools. And even on Instagram, because this is now in my algorithm. Thank you, Tessa.
You're welcome.
There is a movement of men talking about this specific thing. Yeah. And the movement is the kind king. And it's men talking out about men being the aggressor, being the assault. What's the word? The assaulter? That doesn't even sound right. Being the aggressor. Yeah. I'll just say that. But the kind king, the way of this is how you treat a woman, not this. It's also backlash from the manosphere. A lot of guys coming out and saying, this is not what success looks like.
Yes.
This is. Yeah. And so I think thank you to the men that are actually making these videos, coming out and saying, this is not right. This is not okay. And this is how you truly live your life in a respectful manner.
Yeah.
And be a decent human being.
And what is it going to take?
I mean,
what
pause.
is it going to take? Like 62 million men visiting a website on how to take advantage of your significant other on top of what drugs to use. And I'm really curious because like we talked about prosecution earlier.
Yeah.
Could you imagine going about your day and learning about this and being like, oh, thank God my husband is like the best. And all of a sudden, what they're going to end up doing from this website is they're going to start releasing the media that was attached to it, just like the Epstein files released the victims' names.
Remember when that site Ashley Madison?
Yeah.
And like the data leak, and then everyone found out their husbands were like literally cheating on them.
Yeah.
They need to do a data leak. Anonymous, if you're looking at this podcast,
yes, please.
You need to release the IP addresses of all these scumbags doing this to their wives.
Yeah, 100%. What's going to happen is they're going to take the other route and they're going to start releasing the footage of all of these wives.
Well, let's not traumatize them again.
That's what I'm saying is like, that's what.
Unless they're blurred out.
Outside of Ashley Madison, where they actually released all of those names of the people actually doing it. Like even you did a deeper dive on the Epstein files than I did. The names that you find in there, though, are victims' names. Why the hell are you publishing?
They redacted the people that were doing it.
Exactly. Like, what the fuck?
And they're like, oh, my bad. My mistake. It's not a mistake.
No. So then these people are victimized again because there are people that don't believe that these types of things are true. Like you can't really hide the truth from this one. And a big reason why I wanted to do this is, and we're not going to get into details or timelines or anything. However, this has personally happened to somebody in real time in my life. And we had to get her out of the situation where, and women, this is one of those things where you can pay attention to what is happening to your body. And we've done episodes on what the fuck is happening to my vagina right now. If you're constantly getting BV or you're constantly getting UTIs and you don't know where it's coming from, you know, maybe your partner is cheating on you, or in unfortunately her case, he was taking advantage of her in an inebriated state. And she found the videos on his computer. So this is something that she was with this man who she was going to marry. And this was the straw that it took for us to literally, he left to go to a trip somewhere. And the minute he left, we went upstairs with rolling racks and we got everything out and we did one swoop. And if it didn't fit on the shit that we had, it was staying forever. And I think about that as well a lot because actions were not taken to prosecute. And it's one of those things where if it happened to you by somebody that you slept with every night, it is hard to be the person to be the quote unquote whistleblower. Think about how many times survivors come out from years past saying, I thought it was just me. Mm-hmm. And I wish I would have said something sooner so it didn't happen to everybody after me. Yeah. It happens all the time. Yeah. And but again, the narrative that is widely known is they're not going to get in trouble for it. So who are you to say that it happened? Even, oh my gosh, that girl, and this is a true story, and they did a Netflix show on it. I can't remember the name of it, but I feel like Kate Winslet is in it. And the girl reports a rape. Mm-hmm. She goes to the police and they convince her that she lied. So she ended up in jail. And then they found her photo in a serial rapist's lockbox or whatever. And it ended up being like he was like a trucker or something. So that's why it took them so long. But the very beginning of the show, and this is a true story actually, is they show her rape case and the cops turned it around on her and they arrested her. Oh, wow. And said she lied. And then they found all of these other victims that he had across the United States. And that's just...
I think if it was a movie and it's a show, it's based on some kind of truth.
It was. Yeah. That has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All these crazy stories, like in SVU, it was like fictional, but based on true events. But I don't know if do you have anything else to elaborate on this subject? And
no, I think that it's one of those things. This is systemic. This is something that needs to be talked about more. People need to take a stand on it. This is so far outside of women's rights. This is human rights. And it's not even, it's insane to me that we live in a society where a woman doesn't have a choice to terminate a pregnancy in most states if absolutely needed to. Like, I don't even want to go down the whoopsie daisy path. However, if like she's in medical distress and like needs to, there are some states that won't allow that to happen. And there's persecution for that. Yet in that same state, you can have a husband doing something like this to his wife and it's seen as part of the marital contract. Like that to me is, again, we are just meat going to the slaughter. It baffles me, and thinking about it with my niece, she's 12, going to be 13 soon. And it's, how do you prepare for that?
It's hard because you, as an adult, know the dangers that are in the world, but you also want to protect their innocence and let them just be children. Growing up, we always knew about stranger danger, but we really didn't know what the stranger was doing. We just knew that they were bad and don't talk to them. And now I think, when do you have that discussion? It's like, no, these people can really do harm, and it's not just stranger danger. And this wasn't even stranger danger. These are people that you know. But I do want to say, men that are allies and speaking up against this, thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
And I also, it starts with us, good humans, raising children, talking to teenagers or college students literally need this.
Right.
Talk. It starts with us having a discussion. This is wrong and this is right. I'm sorry if you don't know that by the time you're 18, like we have problems.
And you shared that video, and I want to share it too, the consent video. And I thought it was so powerful and I loved it so much. And essentially what this man is doing is he has a teaching at a boys' school, it looks like, or maybe just teaching the boys in a certain class, whatever it may be. But he has a woman who is up in the lecture with him showing what consent is from a body language perspective, even if the words coming out of her mouth are, yeah, sure. And I think it's such a powerful video. And these are young boys who are understanding from such a basic level. That is her space. That is her body. And it wasn't even like a sexual content. It was literally,
can I give you a hug?
Can I give you a hug, or can I use your phone?
Yeah.
And it was, this is uncomfortable. So this is a no. Unless she's like, oh my God, yes. Everything else is a no. And I really loved that video.
There's another video. I don't know if you've seen this. A woman is walking her dog, and the dog, I think, is like a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
It's not like a nice, like, it's not like a Charlie.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Sure.
And this guy comes up and he's videotaping her, and he's like, can I pet your dog? And she's like, no, you may not.
Yeah.
And he starts to proceed and tries to pet the dog. And she's like, sir, back up. You are not touching my dog. Yeah. The dog then leans in and lunges at him and bites him. And then he's like, I was just trying to pet your dog. And she was like, I told you, sir, to back up. And you're invading our personal space. If the dog lunges at you and bites you, the dog picks up on really good energy and bad energy at the same time. Thank God she has that dog.
Yeah.
Thank God. When Charlie barks at people, I'm like, she doesn't bark at a lot of people, so you need to like,
you
need to go away.
She doesn't. She's actually biased to really pretty people. See, she sees a pretty girl and she's like, hey girl, what's up?
But Charlie's really good at picking up energy. And I remember we were at a party one time, a birthday party, And Charlie would not leave this man alone. He was at the bathroom. She was outside waiting for him. And she's like, wow. And I was like, sir, I don't know what is going on with you, but like, she does not act like this to everyone. No. And all the girls were coming up to me like, what does she know that we don't know? And I was like, honestly, if I could read her mind right now, I would love to, but I also don't want to find out.
Yeah. And anyway, I could talk about this subject over and over again.
But let's end on a high note. Yeah. And not like this topic is heavy. And thank you guys for sticking with us. Yeah. We thought it was really important, especially in April. It's Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Yeah.
But high note, it starts with us. It's going to end with us.
Yeah.
Reporting, teaching, talking about it. And
I think that's what it is. It's genuinely just talking about it. Yeah. This broke in March and it is now April and now it's blowing up. Like that to me is also one of those things where I'm like, my goodness, like, again, what is it going to take? And it's us talking about it. It's us doing things like this and continuously having the constructive conversations. And to me, to be fair, like, I wonder 62 million people visiting it. I wonder how many have taken action, because that's the scarier number, right? It is scary that 62 million people did view this website and visit this website. However, it's almost like, what happens when these IP addresses are released? I'm very curious.
Who created this website? Who even thought about, oh my God, this is going to be a great idea and it's going to fucking blow up? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Who perpetrates this kind of behavior? And it's just mind-blowing to me. But I did find the National Sexual Assault Hotline. It's 1-800-656-HOPE. If you need it, call it and lean on your friends. Talk to them. You know, you might think that you're alone, but I promise you are not.
You are not. And it doesn't even have to be sexual assault. There is also manipulation. There's all sorts of abuse from partners, men and women alike. We'll also drop a couple of additional links here local to the Florida area. We do have them from one of our past podcasts when we spoke about this. So we'll continue to promote it. We're here if you guys have questions or want to chat more about it. But I think on that note, we're not going to experience all these things. No.
To not do all these
things. To not do all these things. Have the conversations.
Yes. And we love you.
And we love you. Carpe diem.
Bitches.
It was a rough one.
Here are 2 videos that we referenced in the episode. Enjoy.
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing good. Can I get a hug?
No.
Why not? Just a hug?
No.
Come on, you can give me a hug now, for real.
Okay.
All right. That is not a yes. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Was that a yes?
No, sir.
Even though she said yes, what was her body language saying?
No.
Her body language was saying no. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Even if somebody's body language is saying no, that still means what?
No.
Say what?
No.
So they might verbally be saying yes, but their body language is saying what?
No.
Right. So that is also a no. If somebody's not giving you a yes, a real yes, it's still no. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And do you even want a hug like that? If somebody ain't hugging you back, do you even want that?
No, sir.
We don't want that anyway. If somebody's gonna do something for you, you're gonna do something for somebody else. You want them to want that. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And if they don't want that, then we let that slide. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
We let it go and be like, you know what? Never mind. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
If somebody got to be like, well, I mean, I guess, and all that, or oh, okay, and all that, then we don't want that. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
That is not a yes. Good to go?
Yes, sir.
Is Mark borrow your phone?
No.
Please? I just need to borrow it real quick. I just need to call my mom right quick. Come on, I just need to borrow it right quick. Call my mom right fast.
Go ahead.
All right, appreciate it. It's gonna be real quick. Talk to me. What going on?
You convinced her because she said no, and then she said yes.
Yep. I tried to convince her, and after she said no already. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And then when she did say okay, fine, was that a yes?
No, sir.
That was not a yes. Good to go?
Yes, sir.
And even if she say, well, yes, Is that a yes?
No, sir.
That is not a real yes. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
We want a real emphatic yes. Good to go?
Yes, sir.
Do we give anybody any attitude to try to convince them?
No, sir.
If we have to do any of that little extra stuff like convincing and getting mad and all that stuff, then we don't need to be trying to ask them for anything. Good to go?
Yes, sir.
We need to let it go. Miss Moore, can I get a hug?
Sure.
Yep. What did body language say?
Yes.
That's what we're looking for. If we got to convince them what that means.
No.
If we got to convince them what that means.
No.
It's a no. Good to go?
Oh, they're attacking men. They're attacking men. No, they're attacking bad men. They're attacking bad behavior. We are attacking bad behavior. That's a good thing. That's an attack I can get behind. I want to attack bad behavior by men. Why? Because it makes us all look bad. Right? Oh, but it's not all men. Then prove it. Brother, show it ain't you. You know what's a really good way to make sure that people don't associate bad behavior with you? You stand up and you fight back against the bad behavior. It is our responsibility. It's on you. It's on me to call this shit out. It's not on women anymore. It never has been. But if you are tired of feeling like men are getting attacked, then maybe stop fucking putting up with the bad men in your life. Okay? It's fucking loser behavior. I don't think you're a loser. You know what the biggest loser behavior is? It's men who drug women, who assault women just to get laid. It's also the men and their friends who think that's okay. You're not a loser. Stand up. Say something. Do something. It is our responsibility. Unfortunately. Oh, but it's not all men. Then prove it. Brother.
Thank you for watching this episode of Karaoke Wine. Please like and subscribe.